This week, we are going to be sharing with you some really creative sourcing opportunities and a way on Poshmark that you can make really fast cash with a brand new feature.
So let's get started down the list and show you all of our ways for finding items to resell online.
So to start out with, we should note that we are clothing sellers, so most of this is going to be from our experience selling clothing, sourcing clothing, all of that. Some of these things can be used for any category of reselling that you can think of, but I'm sure there are even more sourcing options for people outside of the clothing category. We're just not going to be covering everything.
First off, the obvious answer is thrift stores.
Thrift stores are my bread and butter. Thrift stores are where I get
everything. It's 99% of everything in this room is from a thrift store.
Yeah, for the most part, that is the case. Now, there are different types of thrift stores. You can do Savers, Goodwill, Salvation Army, mom and pop stores, all different types of thrift stores. Yeah. So definitely try out the ones in your area and see what works best for you. Make sure that you are taking an evaluation of what ones most consistently perform so you can make sure that you are frequenting them often, but also don't write off any of them. Yep. One of the thrift stores in our area that we would probably say is not the best.
It's probably up there as top of mind for worst in the area.
Yes, we had been skipping for a long time and then found Hermes. So
Burberry, a $200 book at that same store. When it hits well.
Yeah.
And you can't just write off everywhere. There's stuff to find no matter where you are, no matter what store you're in. There is an opportunity.
Yeah, so make sure that you're making the rounds. The other tip I will give you with thrift stores is know more than they do. Yes, we all know that thrift stores are pricing up. I'm looking at you, Goodwill. All of them are pricing up, learning the brands, learning comps, all of that type of stuff. We know that. None of us are super thrilled about it, but they are a company looking to make money just like we are. So we're going to have to roll with that. So the best thing you can do is know things before they do. Stay on top of those trending brands. As we've said, Dixon Flannels right now, get your money. That type of stuff, they're not going to know yet. So make sure that you're ahead of them. Get into those communities. Get into the reseller community. Learn the brands as the resellers learn it, not while the thrifts are learning it.
Next is going to be a twofer. So that's flea markets and or garage sales. So living in New England, we have limited access to that year round. So it's really more of a summertime activity. Other places in the country have access to garage sales and flea markets year round, and the pricing will vary depending on where you are. You do get a much better opportunity for the lower cost for garage sales, especially because people are just trying to clear out stuff from their house and they have no idea of the secondhand market for a lot of the items.
Yeah, now we don't do them super often. They are a weekend event and we have our whole life packed into weekends since he's still working a 9 to 5. So we don't go them as often as we would like, but we have found some really great things at garage sales. One example is these Keen sandals that we found. Picked them up for $1. And then there is this Patagonia kids jacket that we found. I forget how much we paid originally.
$5, I think.
$5 and we flipped it for $20. So we do really great. Now there's also the creepiest find ever that we found at a garage sale.
Oh my God. If we could actually find a picture of this, the Furby of nightmares.
Yeah, so we're going to try and find that for you guys. But it was crazy. And if you don't know, the creepier the Furby, the more that money is on eBay. So make sure that you're looking those up.
We actually didn't sell that. We sent it to a family that we follow on YouTube, actually.
Yeah, we did. But we could have made some bank out of it.
So the next one up is retail arbitrage. And retail arbitrage is going into stores, basically.
TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Nordstrom Rack.
Yeah, and taking advantage of the new tags items that they have that are undervalued. So you're looking for the much higher end things that are on clearance, especially for the Nordstrom Rack, the red tag event where everything is 70% off, except their shoes, which is stupid. So take advantage of that, load up the cart. We just went not too long ago and picked up a bunch of jeans and pants that were underpriced. So it is worth doing, especially this time of year, now that the holiday season and gift giving season is coming up. People are going to be looking for those new with tag items, and they're going to be paying extra for the holiday season.
Yeah, now the two cautions I will give you for doing this is one, oversaturation. If they are hitting the clearance section, it is very possible that the store had too much of it and they couldn't offload it, which means it's going to be really popular on the reselling sites, as in popularly listed, and you are going to be facing a lot of competition. So be aware of that. The other thing to be aware of is tag switching. We actually dealt with this our first experience with retail arbitrage. But essentially what happens is people will return a item and they will change the tag in the item so that they can get a better return price when they return it. And it's not actually the brand you wanted. This happened to us on, I believe it was Theory.
Oh, something like that, and it was Adidas pants or something
Yes.
where they had just swapped things out.
Yeah, if I can find the original post I did on this, I will show that, but it is a big problem, so make sure you're super aware of that. Know your RN numbers, know your brands, know the materials, all of that type of stuff, because you don't want to lose out, but it can be really lucrative. We have found items such as the Great, which, if you don't know, great brand.
It is great. The Great is great.
So we have found items like that. We have also found Gal Meets Glam, really great brands that we don't find super often at thrift stores, and new with tags, it's totally worth trying out.
Next is going to be something that we're not particularly familiar with. It's liquidation. So we just received our first small batch lot from a liquidation place that we are going to try. That's going to be probably a full video in and of itself, talking about our experience. So we just got it today. We have no idea really what's in the box. We're going to have to collect our thoughts and do a little bit of research on that. People are very reluctant to share where they find their liquidation sources. For good reason. You're not going to give out your best thrift stores in your local area, and you should not do that. Do not give out the honey hole secret places, because everyone will go there. Yeah. But liquidation is a great way to get a bulk load of inventory for a lower price than even the thrift store pricing, because they're selling it in bulk and they're trying to get it out the door.
So I will say that for liquidation, you have to have a lot of space if you're going to be doing the large pallets. Now, what we chose to do is a little bit smaller scale because we don't have the space and also we don't have the capital. So there is a lot of capital involved in most liquidation. So if you can find some smaller scale ways to do this, that might be a great option. So we will share with you if we found one that we think works, but I don't want to share until we know if it is actually worth it, because who knows, right? We never know. These are definitely a gamble.
So next is Facebook Live Thrifts. And for those of you who aren't in the know, what this basically is are communities of resellers primarily that are looking to offload items that they either have too many pieces of inventory, or they may have been stale items, things that they were not able to sell or haven't put the time into trying to sell. And they sell them at functionally thrift store prices to basically recoup cost.
Yes. So if you really like the idea of these live sales that are becoming super popular right now, think Whatnot, think Posh shows, but you don't like the idea of being in front of camera, this can be a really great option for you. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking your photo of your item, you're giving a really brief description, posting a picture, and doing this over and over and over again in a row on a Facebook post, and people are typing claim, things like that, underneath your thing.
Dibs or things like that.
Yeah, to claim the item. So you can get a bulk of items out really quickly for thrift store prices, and you are able to kind of offload that inventory. The same works in reverse. You are able to source really great inventory for people that are trying to offload. Some of these people are offloading stale inventory, so use caution. But some people are bin shoppers and things like that just really want to move stuff fast, so it might be a great way to find some inventory. Now, we have had some luck with this.
We found a person that had been selling quite a bit of St. John, and we had actually reached out after their Facebook Live sale had ended and asked them if they had any more St. John. They basically said, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I hate listing it. I have an entire box in their house." And they sent it to us for a very reasonable price, and we made a very good amount of money on it already. One caveat, they sent us a Christian Dior skirt that we can't sell for the life of us.
That's not true. We can sell it. We just can't complete the sale. So I have sold this skirt, I think, 3 times now. And
it's more than that. It's 5 or 6 times now at this point. Yeah. You've had 3 non-payments. You've had it returned twice. All for great money. It does not leave our house.
Yeah, I guess it just loves me. I don't know what to do. But it is really a great way to do this. Now, I would not suggest reaching out to people if you are not purchasing from them. We did purchase from this person, and we had a back and forth with them. And that's why we were able to open that line of communication. But definitely use this as a way to source. Use it as a way to network. I think it's a really great option. I think it's underutilized.
Bins, the Goodwill outlet. What are our thoughts on that?
So I think bins can be crazy lucrative if a few things are true of you. One, if you live in a great area, like looking at you, Colorado, you guys look like you have fantastic bins. So if you are in Colorado,
Seattle as well seems to be a great bins location.
Yes, absolutely.
Not so much here at the moment.
Now, I do think that partly is because we are not dominantly vintage sellers. I do know some people that are vintage sellers in our area that do great at the bins. I also think that it might possibly be that we don't stay as long as necessary. I know that a lot of people I've talked to in the area, to do the bins, you really need to stay for 5-6 hours. And because we're so limited on time, given that he's working a 9 to 5 and we do a lot of that type of sourcing together, we want to make sure we get the most out of our day. And if we spend a few hours and we're not seeing a lot of turnover, then we're going to go to thrift stores to make sure we get that inventory. If you've got the time, if you've got the know-how to find great things at these prices and dig through those bins, I think it's a great option. It's the cheapest way that I can think of.
Literally, if you have the time, the bins are the single easiest way to turn a profit because it's almost impossible not to.
Yes.
If you're buying something for less than $1, selling it for $5, $10, you're making profit, and people are going to buy a $10 item all day.
Absolutely.
Like I'm still a little bit bitter about driving 3 hours each way to Maine and buying one 11-cent DVD set where we got neutral feedback.
It was bad. That was a rough trip. We were really disappointed. On the flip side, the bins that we wish would open back up, Boston Bins, if you're listening, please open.
Boston Bins are the best bins in the area, and they've been closed since forever now.
That was our first ever time, and he found it, finding Johnny Was. So the bins experience is definitely all over the place, but it can be super lucrative. So don't pass it up if you have the option.
On to the headline for this video. Sourcing using Facebook, sourcing using Poshmark, using the tools to make quick cash.
Yeah, now this is a really big category, right? Because there's a lot of reselling platforms. But the first thing I will say is if you're going to be sourcing on the platforms, you want to make sure that you are looking for items that you know inside and out, back of your hand type thing. Because remember that if you're doing this type of sourcing, you need to also pay shipping. So your price point is going way up. So you really want to know that. So as a blanket overall how to do this, what you want to do is you want to look at items that have been newly listed and under a certain price point that you are comfortable paying depending on what your item is. So the example I will use, because this is what we do all of the time, is Brahmins. We go and search for them. We look for anything under $50 and we look for the styles that we know sell really well and that we're comfortable paying up for. So we've had good luck on almost every platform doing this. The first one that I can mention is Facebook Marketplace. We have done many pickups of Brahmins on Facebook Marketplace.
Probably 5 or 6 trips that we've made. The first ever that we did on Facebook Marketplace was 3 Brahmins for $40, and we sold each of them for probably $75, $80. So huge profit to be made if you know what you're looking for. We picked up another monstrously green, sick-looking bag that was enormous, and sold it for $125, spent $30. Most recently, you just picked up one on Poshmark.
Yes. So the other option is Poshmark. This way that I do this is I will use the bookmark feature, which is the headline of this video. So if you are not using the saved search feature on Poshmark, you are missing out. So what it basically does, it allows you to create a search. For me, this is going to be available Brahmin, Justin, under $50. So what this does is once I click save search for this, it's going to keep those filters on for me, and all I have to do is click on my save search and all of those filters come right back, and it looks for all of the items that match that criteria at the time that I'm searching. One of the great things about it is it does notify you that there is new options. It doesn't give you a push notification. I have a iffy feeling about that. Part of me is like, I wish I got a push notification so I could hop on it before anybody else, but then the other part of me is like, looking at these Posh Live notifications, do I want another notification?
No, the answer is no. I don't want. I'll check it when I want to check it.
So
Thank you.
I have notification burnout, so that's where I'm at with that. But I will be able to see, like, if I am going to comp an item and I'm like, oh, free people top, I start typing that, it shows me right in the sidebar there that I've got some stuff to look at in my saved search. So maybe I want to do a little look. So it's really great, really fast, really easy. And this is how we found a Brahmin that I just sourced recently. Now, I found the Brahmin for $30, and it had a broken zipper, which is why they priced it so low. I was able to actually reach out to Brahmin and get a replacement zipper and now sell it for $138 on eBay. And it only took about 2 weeks to sell. So
plus shipping, so we didn't have to pay any shipping. It sold within a few weeks of having received it to our house, delivered by the post office. Can't get easier than that.
Yeah. Great money, really fast.
Yeah. Made $100 profit in a week or two.
Yes. So if you are sleeping on the save search feature, you shouldn't be. Make sure that you save those searches for the things you want to be looking for the most often. And I think it's going to be a quick way for you to make money just sitting at home.
You've actually done that with Gal Meets Glam as well.
Yes.
Now that I think about it. You messaged someone that had sold a bunch of Gal Meets Glam pieces back in the day during the pandemic where you couldn't go to the thrift store. And she's like, oh yeah, I have like 7 more things. And you're like, I'll buy all of them for $15 a piece. Yep. Yes, I will.
So that is another pro tip. One thing I like to do is if I can't find anything in the available items, I will filter to sold and I will look through and see, did anybody sell something at a price that I would have paid? And then I look through their closet to see if they have anything else listed that I might be able to purchase. And then if they don't, sometimes I will send them a message and be like, hey, I saw that you sold this brand for a really great price. Do you possibly have any more of those that you're looking to list? Because I would love to purchase them from you. That is how I did this Gal Meets Glam. It worked out really well for me, and I think it's a really great option that not a lot of people are doing. So the next option is something that we don't have a lot of experience with, but I'm going to give you a link to a channel that does, but this is going to be church sales. So church sales price things super, super low. It does go to benefit the church or the community dependent upon the church, and you are able to get things usually in bag sales or other types of bulk methods that you can't really find at thrift stores.
Yeah, this is similar to bins pricing, and it goes back into the funding of the community.
Yeah, no, we've only actually been to like 1 or 2 church sales at this point. It's just not something that we've really gotten into just yet, not to say that we won't. So we don't have a lot of experience, but one of my friends, Murrayed Life, does this quite a bit. She has church sales and other types of really great charity type sales that she goes to really often. So if you want to see like what that looks like and what types of items you can get, you should definitely check her out. I will link one of her videos here so you can check that out, but it is definitely an option that you should look into. We are looking more and more into that, so we'll keep you posted on how that goes.
Next is something that we very much struggle with. We did this very early on and got burned a few times. So it is something you can try, but you have to go into it knowing more than you do when you're brand new, basically.
Yeah, so this is estate sales. So I think it can be a really great option, especially for vintage sellers. But for us, unfortunately, the few times that we have purchased items at estate sales, we have lost money or broke even.
So yes, estate sales, we tried this back when you first started, like the first ever looking for ways to find inventory, kind of experimenting with what was available, and we found a couple of pieces. We did break even or make a little bit of money, but it wasn't the margin that you're going to look for. We found a bunch of St. John for $20-$30 a piece, which is admittedly a little bit high for a St. John, but you can utilize this to find items, and they are not always recognizing the brands. So no place is perfect, just like thrift stores are not perfect. Estate companies are not always perfect. If the person is just doing it themselves, there's a much higher likelihood that they're going to miss a lot more things. So check out what is available in your area. For us, they're very competitive, especially in the very well-to-do communities. You have to basically line up the night before and put out a chair and sleep there. Otherwise, you will never get in. It is crowded. It is packed. It is competitive. It's just something that we don't enjoy. Really.
Yes. So for all my social anxiety friends out there, I know there's a lot of you, I would not recommend this option just because there is a lot of crowds. You do have to wait in line. There is a lot of competition. But if you are not somebody like that and you really enjoy, the thrill of the hunt and you like being that competitive person and, kind of snagging that deal before somebody else, this could be a really great option. So it's just not for us. It's not really our jam, but it's definitely an option and something I don't want to, not mention.
All right. Next is going to be something that we have not had any experience with is buyouts. Not for lack of trying. We were even looking on our vacation rather than enjoying our vacation. We were working on reselling. So we found a few of them in Virginia when we were there, and we didn't get any takers. It's something that you have to make those connections and then be the first person in line. So it's being hyper aware of the opportunity and snatching it up before someone else. And it's going to require that you have the ability to pick up a truckload of stuff for their availability.
Yes, but reseller buyouts can be really great because these are curated items that somebody else picked up thinking that they were going to flip it online. A lot of the times what happens is people end up getting a new job and they don't have any time for reselling anymore, or maybe they just lost the passion for it, or maybe they're switching their niche. Whatever the case may be, they bought these items originally to sell them, so they know that there's profit in them. So they can be a really great option. I've been looking at them a lot lately because we always need more inventory. I am always seeming to have a shortage of inventory. So it's always, the bulk options are something that I really, really like. But we haven't had luck finding one just yet. We're not going to give up on that. But if you want to know how people do with that, definitely type in Reseller buyout in the YouTube search engine and you'll see a lot of them. Yeah. I think I just saw Hustle at Home Mom doing one. I can link that if I find it. But she was able to get a buyout from a subscriber of her channel. And she was able to, seems like, make really great money on it. So it's definitely a really great option if you have the connections to do that. So again, connect with the reseller community. Get to know people. Make friends because it could be a really great option down the road.
Second to last, which is we are trying this again, or we're trying this for the first time after having been burned on the other side of it.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we were.
Which... that was a whole video in and of itself, and it was just an ordeal. Like, it was the worst thing. Somebody basically stole all of our items.
But what is it? Let them know.
It was Flip. So for those of you who don't know, Flip is a way for you to either lot up a bunch of inventory to sell in bulk through someone else, where you send them all of your items and they sell them for you, and you split the profit 50-50 or whatever the percentage is that you agree to. So we have just recently signed up to be pro sellers, and we have received our first few flip lots.
Yes. So we will be doing a whole video on our experience of this. We did do a video on our experience on the other side of it where we sent inventory out and how that went. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check out that video. But this is going to be on the seller side. We're going to let you know how the experience is kind of finding lots, bidding on them, getting them, what type of inventory we got. Do we think it was worth it? All of that type of stuff we will be doing. But the reason that we're mentioning it is it's free inventory. Yeah. So essentially how this app works is you go on, you bid on someone's lot, telling them, this is how much I think that I can get for the items that you're asking for. This is a commission split that I'm looking for. And if they agree to it, they send you a box of inventory completely free to you, and you get a commission on any item that you sell. So it can be a really great option if you're someone like me that just really needs that bulk. It can be a really great option.
On the last one, and we've done so many of these on the channel already, and we haven't done them in a while, are mystery boxes.
It's probably how you guys got to know us, right? I mean, mystery boxes. So we're talking ThredUp. We're talking when Jomar was a thing. We're talking Goodwill Blue Box. We're talking Cozy Threads. All of these type of things.
Yeah, so they can be great. They can also, as we saw with the designer box, be a bit of a nightmare. So it is a mixed bag, a grab bag. There's not a whole lot of quality control on the condition sometimes, as we found out in the designer. Other times we had really great experiences where the majority of the items we received were new with tags, which we were not expecting. Mm-hmm. So it can be a great way to get access to brands or items that you are not able to find. For us, we struggle to find handbags and purses. We, not for lack of trying, we look for Brahmins and other bags that we can sell for good money all of the time, and it's just very, very competitive. So a good way to do that is to put the burden on to one of those other companies and have them sent straight to your house.
Yes. So I will say it's a mixed bag experience. Definitely read those reviews and get to know how other people feel about it. Also make sure that you're really reading the description. A lot of the ThredUp boxes, for example, will say that to expect flaws. So make sure that you're really reading the description to know what you're getting. But we have actually done a lot of videos, not only opening the boxes, but also giving you a breakdown of exactly how much money we made from boxes, if we thought it was worth it, if we thought that it was a valuable experience, and if we would buy it again. We haven't been doing it for a while just because it just wasn't part of what we were doing for sourcing. But if you guys have boxes, you want to know, is it worth it? Are we making money on it? Let us know in the comments and we will absolutely order more. But until then, make sure you click the link on the screen so you can see the last time that we did a breakdown and exactly how much money we made on a ThredUp box.